They say when you love someone, you can always feel it in your heart. The connection, the trust, the comfort. But what if that trust, that love, was all a lie? I never thought I'd be the one to discover it. And yet, there I was, sitting in my living room, holding the invitation to the most exclusive gala my husband had ever mentioned, but with a sinking feeling in my chest that something wasn't quite right.
It wasn't the kind of invitation you just threw away. No, this one was embossed with gold, addressed to both of us, a glittering opportunity. An exclusive event, hosted by one of the wealthiest people in our city. I couldn't help but be excited at first. It sounded like a dream come true, a night among the high society, rubbing shoulders with the elite.
I glanced over at my husband, who was already on his phone, typing away furiously. His face looked distant. He had been like this lately, distracted, always busy, always too tired for a night in. "Don't worry, babe, I'll be going solo," he had said, with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. But then a strange thing happened. Every time I brought up the gala, he seemed more dismissive. His eyes would flicker to the clock. His fingers would tap against his glass of water, as if he were rushing to get the conversation over with. "It's just business, honey. Don't overthink it." The invitation sat on the coffee table for days, a beautiful, shimmering thing, taunting me. And the more I looked at it, the more I questioned him. Was it truly business, or was there something else going on? It had been weeks since I had seen him the way he used to be. Attentive, kind, always making time for me. But lately, there were more business dinners, late nights at the office, and those phone calls. Always the same line. "I'll call you back. It's a work emergency." Something didn't add up, and the invitation, that golden ticket to the exclusive gala, was just another clue in a puzzle I had started to piece together. I kept asking him to take me along to the event, but his response was always the same. "No, sweetheart, it's not really your scene. You wouldn't enjoy it." My gut twisted every time he said that. It was as if he didn't want me there. Why? What was he hiding? I had to know, and I knew if I didn't do something about it, I would never be able to sleep at night. I started digging. Nothing huge, just subtle things. I checked his emails. Nothing there. But then I stumbled upon a name I didn't recognize, someone he had been emailing back and forth with. And their conversations didn't sound like business. There were personal notes in there, small but telling. Compliments, inside jokes, the kind of thing you'd send to someone you had a connection with. A connection that wasn't me. I knew what I had to do. If he wouldn't tell me the truth, I would find it myself. I wasn't going to just sit back and let him walk into that gala without knowing what was really going on. So I made a decision. If he wasn't going to take me to the gala, I'd just have to get in there myself. I called a contact at the venue. There was a last-minute opening for staff. I didn't even think twice. I signed up as part of the catering team, and just like that, I had a way in. A small, inconspicuous role at the event, a waiter carrying hors d'oeuvres. I could blend in. I could see everything. And most importantly, I could find out what was really going on. The night before the gala, I sat in my bedroom, staring at the invitation, the one he had kept on the mantle, the one that had been a symbol of our future together. But now, it felt like a symbol of something else, a night I would spend uncovering the truth. The thought sent chills down my spine. I wasn't sure what I would find, but I knew I had to go. Because if there was one thing I had learned in life, it was that the truth, no matter how painful, was always better than living a lie. I lay there in the silence of the room, imagining what I might find at the gala. My heart raced. What if I was wrong? What if it was all in my head? But no, there was something deep inside me that knew I was right. The night of the gala arrived. The air was thick with tension as I dressed in my black staff uniform, preparing to step into a world that had always felt out of my reach. A world that now felt like the perfect setting for a lie, my husband's lie. And when I walked through those doors, I wasn't just a wife. I wasn't just a woman hoping for answers. I was someone on a mission. And nothing, not even my fear, would stop me from getting the truth. As I approached the venue, the city lights twinkled in the distance. The venue was grand, nothing like I had ever seen before. A towering building with sleek glass windows and a long red carpet leading up to the doors. As I stepped out of the car, I felt a rush of cold air hit my face. I was nervous, but determined. This was it, the moment I would finally uncover the truth. The staff entrance was discreet, tucked to the side. I walked through it, head down, blending in with the other waiters and bartenders who were busy preparing. They didn't look twice at me, and that was exactly how I wanted it. As I walked past the grand ballroom doors, I could hear the laughter, the clinking of glasses, and the hum of an elegant crowd. The world inside seemed so distant from my own reality. I slipped into my designated area, the service staff kitchen. It was a small, windowless room filled with busy employees rushing around, preparing for the guests. But none of that mattered. I had a job to do. I wasn't here to wait on guests. I was here to wait for the truth. I took a deep breath and adjusted my black apron. My heart was racing as I thought of my husband, the man I had loved for so long, the man I had trusted, the man who, just moments ago, had slipped away to join a world that I didn't even know existed. How was I going to face him when I found out the truth? The first time I saw him that night, my heart skipped a beat. He was standing at the center of the room, laughing with a group of well-dressed men. He looked so perfect, so at ease. But there was something about the way he held himself that made me uneasy. He was acting different. There was a carefree attitude in his posture, as though he didn't have a care in the world. I quickly turned away, pretending to be busy with my tray of drinks. I couldn't let him see me just yet. I needed more time to observe, to see if there was any truth to the suspicion that had been eating at me. I moved to the other side of the room, trying to make myself inconspicuous. As I walked past a corner near the bar, I overheard a conversation between two of the guests. They were talking about my husband and the woman who was with him. I froze. I couldn't make out every word, but one phrase stood out. It's been going on for months now. The Gala's just their latest cover. My heart pounded in my chest. Could it be? Was this the proof I needed? My thoughts raced as I tried to absorb what I just heard. But I couldn't jump to conclusions. Not yet. I needed to see more. I needed to know if what I was hearing was true. I decided to get closer. I quietly slipped through the crowd, keeping my eyes locked on him. He was talking to a woman I didn't recognize. And the way they were standing together, the way they spoke, it was like they were in their own world. The chemistry between them was undeniable. I watched as he leaned in, his hand brushing her arm. My stomach turned. I had seen him act this way before, but not with me, not with the love we shared. But this was different. This was not just an innocent conversation. There was something between them, and it wasn't something that I was a part of. And then it happened. I saw it with my own eyes. He leaned in, and without hesitation, he kissed her. Right there, in front of everyone. My heart sank. The world around me seemed to disappear. All I could hear was the pounding of my heart in my ears. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I could do was watch as he kissed her, like I had never existed. I could feel my breath catch in my throat. My knees went weak, and I had to steady myself against a nearby table. I wasn't sure if it was anger or heartbreak that surged through me, but I knew one thing. This was the moment everything changed. This wasn't just a betrayal. This was an attack on my heart, on everything I had believed in. I watched as they pulled away from each other, laughing as if it was nothing, as if they hadn't just shattered everything I thought I knew. And in that moment, something inside me broke. But another part of me, a stronger part, began to rise. I wasn't going to stand here and cry. I wasn't going to be the fool who waited for him to fix this. I had to act. The woman walked away, and I felt the cold rage flooding through me. I wasn't going to let him get away with this. I wasn't going to let him keep living in his world of lies while I stood by, powerless. I was no longer the woman who trusted blindly. No, I was the woman who would take back what was hers. I watched him as he mingled with more guests, unaware that his wife, the one he had betrayed, was standing there, watching every move he made. I felt my body shaking, but this time it wasn't from fear. It was from a growing sense of purpose. I wasn't just going to confront him. I was going to take back control of my life. And when this night was over, everything would be different. I spent the next hour moving through the crowd, waiting for the right moment. I couldn't confront him just yet. I needed to gather more. I needed to understand the full picture before making my move. But one thing was certain. I would make him pay for what he had done. This night, this gala, it wasn't just about charity or exclusivity. It was about reclaiming my life, my dignity, and my future. Time seemed to slow down after that kiss. I watched him for what felt like an eternity, mingling with the guests, acting as if nothing had happened. The noise of the gala, the music, the laughter, it all became a blur. I was so close to him now, yet it felt like we were miles apart. I was standing in a room full of people, but the only thing that mattered was him and the lie he had been living. I needed to confront him. I couldn't keep pretending that everything was fine. But how? How do you confront someone you've loved for so long, someone who's been by your side, when all you can feel is the sting of betrayal? The anger was bubbling inside me, and I could feel it rising. I wanted to scream, to run up to him and demand answers right there. But I knew I had to be smart. I couldn't let my emotions take over. I had already made my decision. I would confront him, but I had to do it my way. This wasn't just about proving he was cheating. It was about taking back the control that he had stolen from me. I glanced around the room, looking for a moment of privacy, a space where I could speak to him without everyone else listening. It wasn't easy to find, but after a few minutes of searching, I spotted him, alone, standing by the balcony, sipping his drink. The woman he had been talking to was nowhere in sight. I walked towards him, each step feeling like a battle. My heart was beating fast, but I was no longer afraid. I had made my peace with what I had seen, with what I knew. This was my moment. I wasn't going to shrink away. Not anymore. As I got closer, I noticed him turn slightly, his eyes catching mine. For a brief second, there was a flicker of recognition in his eyes, and I could see the unease in his posture. But it was too late for that now. He knew. I knew. I stopped just a few feet away from him. The music was faint in the background, and the room had fallen silent in my mind. This was it. I had to speak. So, this is how you spend your nights, huh? I've been asking you for weeks to take me to the gala, but you kept making excuses. All along, you were here, living a different life, and I was too blind to see it. Tell me, was she worth it? Was the lie worth it? His face shifted. There was a moment of shock, followed by confusion. His lips parted as if to speak, but no words came out. I could see the guilt flicker across his face, the shame, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to undo the damage. He took a step closer to me, his voice low, desperate. It's not what you think. But I wasn't listening anymore. I had heard all the excuses before. I didn't need to hear them again. My heart was no longer aching for answers. I had all the answers I needed. I raised my hand, silencing him before he could speak anymore. I wasn't going to let him manipulate me. Not this time. Don't say it's not what I think. I saw it with my own eyes. I watched you kiss her. And you thought I wouldn't find out. You thought I wouldn't see it. But I did. I saw it all. And I'm not going to sit here and let you lie to me again. You've been lying to me for months. And you know what? I'm done." For a moment, I saw the man I had loved, the man I had trusted, crumble before me. He reached for my hand, as if trying to hold on to me, but I pulled away, stepping back. His voice wavered, desperate. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen. It's been a mistake. I was going to tell you, I swear. Please, just let me explain." I shook my head. There was no more explaining left to do. The truth had already been laid bare, and there was no way to erase the damage. I looked at him one last time, my heart no longer breaking, but hardening. The woman I had been moments ago, the one who feared the truth, who sought comfort in his lies, was gone. I had transformed into something stronger, someone who wouldn't stand for betrayal. I wasn't angry anymore. I was empowered. And that empowerment meant I was ready to let go of this toxic relationship. I turned to walk away, but then, just as I reached the door, I stopped. I wasn't going to let him get away without facing the consequences. I looked over my shoulder and spoke, my voice steady, but filled with finality. "You don't get to have it all. You don't get to cheat on me and expect everything to go back to normal. I'm taking what's mine, and when I'm done, I won't be looking back." The weight lifted from my chest as I walked out of the ballroom, the sound of the gala fading behind me. I was no longer the wife in the shadows, hiding behind my husband's lies. I was free. As I walked down the hallway, my mind raced with thoughts of what to do next. The gala was over, but the night was far from over for me. There was more I needed to do, and I was going to make sure that tonight, everything changed. The power was in my hands now, and I was going to take back everything that was mine. I walked out of the ballroom with my head held high, my steps firm and sure. The cold night air hit my face as I stepped outside, but the chill wasn't enough to shake the warmth that had suddenly blossomed inside me. I was done feeling small, done hiding behind the facade of a perfect marriage. I had seen the truth, and now it was time to take control.
It's been months now since I made the decision to leave him behind, to take control of my life and to stop letting someone else dictate my worth. Every day I feel a little bit stronger, a little bit freer. The pain from the betrayal hasn't disappeared, but it's no longer a wound that defines me. It's just a part of my story, a chapter that helped shape the woman I've become. I wake up every day with a renewed sense of purpose. The business I started is growing, and though it's still a challenge, I'm learning more about myself and my capabilities than I ever imagined. I'm making decisions that align with my goals, my dreams, and not anyone else's.
Walking away from that marriage was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the most liberating. I used to think that I couldn't live without him, that I needed him to be whole. But I was wrong. I had to lose him to find myself. And now, as I reflect on everything I've been through, I can honestly say that I am grateful for the lessons, even the painful ones. They taught me how strong I am, how resilient I can be, and that I am worthy of more than I ever thought possible. The house I once shared with him no longer feels like a prison. It feels like a place where I can breathe, where I can make new memories, and where I can create the life I truly deserve. One of the most important lessons I learned throughout this whole experience is the power of self-love and self-trust. I spent so many years trying to be the perfect wife, trying to hold everything together, to be what he needed. But in doing so, I lost sight of who I was. I lost sight of my own needs, my own dreams. The truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you don't love and trust yourself, no one else can truly love and trust you. I've learned to fill my own cup first, to take care of my own needs, and put myself at the top of my priority list. And it feels incredible. I've also learned that moving on doesn't mean forgetting or erasing the past. It means letting go of what no longer serves you and embracing what lies ahead. I may never forget the betrayal, but I don't have to carry it with me anymore. It no longer defines me. The future is where I am putting my energy now. There are still days when I miss the life I thought I had, the dreams I built with him. But those days are fewer now. And each time I feel the sadness creeping in, I remind myself, I am better for having gone through this. I am stronger than I ever knew. I share this story not to dwell on the pain or to get revenge. I share it because I know there are so many of you out there who have been through the same thing. You've been hurt, betrayed, and left feeling lost. But I want you to know that you are not alone. You have the power within you to heal, to rebuild, and to take control of your life. No one, not even the person you love, should ever have the power to define your worth. You are strong, you are capable, and you are worthy of the love and respect that you deserve. Don't let anyone, not even yourself, tell you otherwise. As I stand here today, I am no longer the woman I used to be. I am someone new, someone stronger, more confident, and ready for whatever comes next. My life is mine again, and I won't let anyone take that away from me. I have learned that true strength comes from within. It comes from standing up for yourself, even when it's hard. It comes from knowing that you are enough, just as you are, and that you don't need anyone's validation but your own. So, to all of you watching this, whether you're facing a betrayal or just struggling to find your way, I want to leave you with one final thought. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you rise after the fall. You are defined by your strength, your resilience, and your ability to keep moving forward, no matter how hard it gets. You have the power to change your life. You have the power to take control. And most importantly, you have the power to love yourself first. So go out there and live your truth. The world is waiting for you. If this story resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Share your experiences, your thoughts, and your own journeys of strength in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it empowering, and subscribe to American Granny Stories for more stories that will inspire and uplift you. And if you know someone who could use a little encouragement today, share this with them. Together, we can rise stronger than ever. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. Keep moving forward, and remember, you are enough. You always have been. This final section ties everything together. It provides closure to the protagonist's journey of healing and growth. The key themes of empowerment, self-love, and independence are emphasized, leaving the audience with a sense of hope and motivation. It also encourages audience engagement through a call to action, asking viewers to share their own experiences and connect with the message of strength. Sure, here's a strong and engaging call to action for your YouTube channel, American Granny Stories, that will encourage your audience to interact, subscribe, and share their own experiences. The team of American Granny Stories are waiting your comments. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you found strength in this story, know that you are not alone. If you've ever faced betrayal or been through tough times, I want to hear your story. Drop a comment below and share your experiences. Together, we can support and empower each other. If this video touched your heart, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need it today. Don't forget to subscribe to American Granny Stories for more real, raw, and inspiring stories that remind you of the strength within. Remember, you are stronger than you think. Your journey is just beginning. Let's rise together, and I'll see you in the next story.